Welcome back to the Meade Truth Conversation. We are live from the Meade County Fair, and we are right in the middle of our Wednesday evening. Monster trucks are going off in the main arena. There's mudsling going on out in the back.
It's pretty nice out there, too.
And it is a beautiful night. Nice breeze coming in. It's not like it was last night where you had it just got sticky.
It was very sticky.
And but tonight's a very, very pleasant night at the fair. And with us,
you know what? Right before we go into the introductions, you know that they're doing the rides for the monster truck right now. It's an 8-seater.
Right. That's right. An hour before and an hour after. I think the monster trucks.
That line is already so long, Mark.
Well, they're going to have to cut it off at some point so we can all see so we can all have the fun in the.
That's right.
The arena, right?
I'll be back. I'm out.
He wants to go ride.
The sheriff's got to go get it. So you just heard Sheriff Wimpy is with us today, and so is our jailer, J.J. Scarborough. And
welcome, guys.
Thank you for having us. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, we just want to talk a little bit about, hey, what goes on in the jail, what happens in the sheriff's department, you know, we were just speaking a moment ago and asking the sheriff, well, what's the crime rate in Meade County? That's always a question you hear in big cities, but it's just as important in our county as well. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that, you know, our crime rate has gone up here in Meade County. We usually average around 1,500 to 1,600 calls a month. And, you know, that averages out to around 15 calls per deputy per shift, which is almost unheard of with the amount of deputies we have.
Wow.
That's
it's a good thing you got that extra deputy.
We have one deputy that's getting ready to graduate tomorrow.
Oh, congratulations.
And we have one on the bubble that's supposed to be going in, so that'll help us out on calls, the time it takes to get from call to call on a certain shift. Really, I'm about 7 or 8 deputies short is what I am.
Wow.
Wow. Now, is that based on like when you say that you're 7 or 8 deputies short, is that based on like what kind of like the normal call levels and things would be in other locations?
Yeah,
or?
Usually what they do is they'll base it on population. And, you know, with our county, we're running probably about 25 to 30 police officers / deputies short in our county.
Yeah, we have about 30,000 people here, right?
That's correct.
So, there's a lot of people here. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you figure there's 30,000 people, and we're kind of spread out because the county's, you know, it's not like we're all in one city where like Elizabethtown or, a smaller town, you know, a smaller city like that. But even though we're spread out, we still have the same people having the same problems, doing some of the same.
And you're right.
We'll call it silly stuff.
Yep, you're right. And, you know, we have the same crimes, you know, you see in Louisville, things like that. It's just not on a vast amount like Louisville has because of population. So we do have the same crimes that happen here in Meade County. And, you know, but like you just said, the areas are so huge and rural that it takes us probably around 40 minutes for a call. For say we have one in Battletown and we get to Flaherty, you know, you're looking at a 40-minute time difference to make that call. So
yeah.
It's upsetting because I want more deputies on the ground to take up that time, you know, take that distance up to help these people out in this county. That's what I promised them, and I think it's not fair for the people out here in this county when they call and they have to wait 40 minutes for a deputy to show up. I want to change that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all for, better police
force.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, better police force and better response times. But it's like you said, if you're down the battle, but most of the force, the headquarters is in Brandenburg.
That's correct. That's where we usually is. Now, we spread them out. Now, I have 2 different places now in Brandenburg, but we spread our deputies out when they're on call throughout different places in the county. And, you know,
kind of a patrol.
Yes.
Okay.
And what we do, we serve paperwork throughout the county also. And, you know, fiscal court here last year gave us some money to hire 2 more deputies to get on the street. So that's really helped out a lot. And again, like I said, I got one graduating tomorrow from the academy. So that every
that's
person
in Richmond, right?
That's correct. Yeah, it's a 20-week course, and he's probably going to be glad to be home with his family.
I bet. So for the jailing rate, just kind of the arrest rate for the sheriff's department, would you say it's high or moderate for our county?
I would say it's probably moderate for our county.
And how is the drugs is a big thing. If I could kill it in America, I'd kill it in a day. And I know it plays heavy on your heart. I've heard you speak about it,
Absolutely.
especially when you come to some of these homes and there's either an overdose and there's a death, or just that you see the kids and their families are just destroyed. I mean, I'm experiencing that myself with taking on 3 littles. But let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, how bad are we doing in Meade County, and how good are we doing? What are we doing that's good?
Well, I will tell you, and I'm not bashful to talk about it, drugs are bad in our county. You know, just because I'm the sheriff, you know, I'm going to speak the truth. They are bad in this county. You know, we do go out and arrest, and JJ, you know, we get him in his jail. But then it's up to the judicial system what they decide what they're going to do with that person.
Right.
You know, whether they go get help or whether they keep them in jail or release them.
Right.
So we do see a lot of turnover come in and out of JJ's jail, and it's not JJ's issue. You know, it's just a matter of how the judicial system handles it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure their hands are tied on a lot of things too. But, you know, I've recently started, you know, I've seen too many dealers get arrested and they get right back out of jail. They get a good lawyer, they make plea deals, and they get back out of jail. So what I did was I started a program for addiction. I said, how am I going to fight this another way? So I have a program throughout the sheriff's office, and I'm pretty confident in saying that I'm the only one in the Commonwealth of Kentucky that has this.
Okay.
And it's called the QRT program, it's Quick Response. So anytime we go on an overdose or somebody needs help, I have everything they need for free.
Oh, wow.
It's a really good program. I have 49 people locally here in our program. It's been up and going for 2 years.
Yeah.
I've only lost one that dropped off in the 2 years out of 49 people.
Wow.
So it's a really good program. They have the support of community members, churches, and things like that.
That's awesome.
And it's something
I remember
we
when
need.
you were having the meetings on it. Yeah.
Yep, it's working well.
So, JJ, do you see a lot of turnover? I mean, coming back and forth from local citizens. I remember we were at the thing down on the wharf, and gentleman came up to you and said he was clean, he ain't coming back. And I know you probably see a lot of those folks that you've seen that have been in incarceration, and then they get their life straightened and going straight. But do you see a lot of turnover?
And sadly enough, yes. And we see a huge turnover rate and a very high return rate.
Yeah. Some of those folks, do you think there's anything that we could ever do? I mean, what do you think it would take to try to flip that around?
Of course, I think step one, it's up to the person
Sure.
primarily, and that person has to want change before anybody can help them.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to help yourself, then it's hard for anybody else to help you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's step one.
We've seen some, like some people, some programs moving in, like Sierra's House, and that's something that probably works. I think they work with the judicial system and probably the jail, and as it's like a transition out of jail,
Yes.
and they go there and they have, I think there was up to a year or something like that. It depends on what their situation is with the when in court, to say if their sentence was 5 years or 10 years or whatever, they can spend X amount of time trying to get clean, trying to get themselves on a different path, and so they don't have some of that. What's it called?
Recidivism.
Yeah.
Recidivism.
That's a big word.
It is. I think it's 7 syllables. Recidivism. Yeah, it's like 7 syllables. I have to do that. Remember, they taught you that in grade school. Count how many times your chin had hit your hand. That's a syllable.
But some of those programs, I think they're. And then we have. I think in September they're going to actually finally open up the Adult and Teen Challenge out in Meade County over in out on 1638, and that's going to be another level, but that's trying to keep them from getting to the jail level.
And there are several of them kind of houses out in the state, different parts. But Meade County is very fortunate that we have people like Debbie and the other ladies in the Sierra House.
Yes.
Because that is literally 1 in a million. Those ladies, they truly care.
Absolutely.
And Rochelle Frazier's new place, and their heart's in the right place.
Absolutely.
And
It's just it's one at a time.
We were having this conversation yesterday about, wouldn't it be nice if I could take a bigger deduction and donate locally instead of letting the federal government decide how we spend our dollars on those types of programs, and we can funnel our own money into people that from our hometown.
And I don't want to say all of them, but a lot of the rehab programs, halfway houses, drug rehab, it's all focused around money and profit and revenue.
Yeah.
It's not really based. It's not really there to help the people. I don't believe it is.
Not in the same way we see like Sierra's House and the other one. They're focused on keeping our community alive and well.
And
you know what I mean?
They're the private ones, right? That are not. they're not really government based.
Yeah.
They're actually Christian based. You know, I think that's a big part of it. That you take those federal, and we've said this on other subjects. If you put federal dollars into something, somebody's going to show up to try to take that money.
That's right.
And they're not always going to be. They're going to want to do it as cheap as possible, so they can put as much money in their pocket.
Yep.
These houses, Sierra's House, I believe, and Adult and Teen Challenge. Those organizations don't take federal dollars. They are
Nonprofit.
based. They're nonprofits, and so they're about the people getting into these programs. And I think we need more of that.
Yeah, you got nonprofit, faith-based,
Yeah.
and passion.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
huge.
Yeah.
So we
These
have to
people
have more
care.
of that.
I
Right.
we absolutely agree. I think that was a big thing we were pushing in the last election was when they were doing the right for life choices and some other things that would have put God and Christ back in a lot of our pathways. You know what I mean? But it's like these outside states and these big entities come in and want to crush our values and our morals. But I won't go down that road. But I have a question for you, JJ. In the prison, it's not just local to Meade County. You actually house some pretty hardened criminals here, and you have some work programs and things that you do to help rehabilitate. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we house people from all over the state. Whenever an inmate becomes a state prisoner, there's 120 counties in the state, so we can house any of the state inmates from any of the other counties. That's actually our biggest source of revenue is state inmates.
Sure.
Of course, we don't really, sadly to say, we don't have to go outside the county anymore to find those hardened, violent criminals. In the last 4 years,
It's unfortunate.
in the last 4 years, we've seen a significant rise just in the violent crimes committed. Everything
Sure.
from a basic domestic assault to a murder. It's
Sad.
It's sad. It's very sad.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that comes with growth. It comes with, you see a lot as the city, as the county grows, it's more people, like we talked about earlier, and it's an unfortunate, a byproduct of that, right? Where there's more people getting closer together and more people who interact with each other, and a lot of times it goes negative.
And you're right. And you say that the growth of our county, but we also got to make sure that our growth doesn't outrun our infrastructure.
That's right.
That's right. That's
so
right.
That's huge.
Well, we ran on that with Troy's campaign because, I've loved since he's been in office. I've had so many people come to me and say, well, he's not what I thought it was going to be. He's doing a really good job. I mean, he's really looking at like 2050. He's not looking at like now. And
that's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
For a long time, I felt like, and I'm not trying to say anything about any of our elected officials, Republican or Democrat, because I really believe that there's a lot of people in this community that's ran for office that care.
That's right.
But I think that a lot of times we're on that 5-year plan, and we really should be thinking about the 15 and 20-year plan.
Yeah.
And because if we wait till as Troy says, as Judge Koch says, if we wait until 5 years before, if we wait 15 years before we're planning for 2050, we're already behind.
Yeah,
it's going to take 5 years of developing a plan, 5 years of developing how you're going to pay for that plan, and then 10 years probably to execute that plan. And I think I'm really excited about how Troy. And speaking of Troy, he just walked by, and he must have known we were talking about him. But
for Sheriff, if you do a big event every year, and it's probably coming up again, not too far from now. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, it's called Tucker Day, and we put that on every year in representation for my son that passed away in 2013. And what we do, we put everybody on the same level, all the kids and families on the same level, and all the entities and the businesses all pitch in their time. All the Ray's Ford, J.J. Scarborough,
right.
all the different Save a Lot, Kroger, everybody, basically every business in Meade County pitches in on that. So there might be a little stickler in it this year. I don't know yet. I'm still in the planning stages, but it's usually every second Saturday in September.
Okay.
And it's an honor to see thousands of people come down there, and everything's free.
Well, that's awesome.
It's huge, and that's the way we need to treat people out here in our public. Put everybody on the same level and treat them fair.
That's absolutely right. I enjoyed it. I was out there last year. It was my first time. Obviously, y'all know I'm a transplant. I'm like most of our military community and stuff like that, and I know we're getting a lot of other transplants coming in here.
We can tell by your accent.
I appreciate it. It's slowing down a little bit, though. I don't know if my wife's happy that I'm not slowing down, but it's slowing down. JJ, you also have a program has to do with construction and carpentry or something to that effect in the prison. Is that still happening, or?
Yeah, we have several programs. Actually, the woodworking program is probably the one that we're known the most for.
Right.
Yeah, we see a lot of that in the community.
It's been going on now about 5 years, and it's just continued to grow. It's just a good all-around program.
Wow. The inmates like the work and the craft. They find some.
I mean, it gives them something to be proud of.
Yes, and the inmates like it, and a lot of them, they find a new trade. You know, we get people in jail who don't know how to read a measuring tape, but they have a natural gift for woodwork. And,
Wow.
and we hear a lot of good feedback from people who get out and go on to work for construction companies, cabinet companies, and so on and so forth. So, the woodworking shop is probably our most successful.
I mean, have y'all ever seen some of the furniture that comes?
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Especially the auctions. Especially with the chamber, they've done some big stuff with the auctions. I think that was last year. I saw that, and I've seen them around at some of the different fundraisers and activities.
Yeah, and they do well at the auctions too.
Yeah, they do.
And since the community has been so supportive of this, they keep us pretty busy, and usually we're 3 to 4 weeks out. Well, that money that comes in, that revenue, it supplements our other programs like MRT, Parrington, Alcohol Anonymous. It supports the other programs, so it's just a benefit all the way around.
So can I just make an order for something and your guys make it, or how does that work?
Yes, please don't tell me because I'm not a carpenter. I'll give you a phone number and you tell him.
Okay.
But I promise you it would be messed up. You can ask several people.
It'll be messed up. Well, yeah, I'll take that.
You're running the jail, right?
That's
right. Jail.
I'm not a carpenter.
He didn't build the jail.
No, I got it. But they make bunk beds. They can do anything, or what?
I've seen them build just about anything you can imagine.
Because I need something really sturdy. Because I got two little boys now. And I'm gonna tell you what, they can tear some stuff up.
I know how that works.
We need some real oak.
So, out of curiosity, this has always bothered me because you did say, with the fewer sheriffs, it takes a lot longer to respond to a call. If you were to get a call and a deputy was planted right in the heart of Brandenburg at its furthest point of the county, at the furthest house of the county, what would be the ETA of an arrival time?
You're probably talking about around closer to 30 minutes, 24, 25, something like that. It's all the way in Big Bend.
Brandenburg.
Yeah.
It's all the way in Big Bend.
But
it depends on if you have to dodge deer and turkeys.
Sure, yeah, I was going to say that. But if they're circulating in routes, right, and they're on patrol.
But here's the thing: you have to be in the right place at the right time.
That's true. Yeah, I got you.
That's the
because the county's big.
And what happens? We take one call, you end up like in Battletown, and every time it seems like the next call will be in Flaherty.
Oh wow.
So that's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Battletown, Big Bend to Muldrow. It's probably the furthest you have to go.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And now, go ahead.
I would say how about how's it working with how does it work with the local city polices and because you have Muldrow, you have Brandenburg. I guess it's only
that probably takes a little pressure off.
Well, it takes a lot of pressure off. We all work together really, really well.
We know that. We see it all the time.
Yeah.
Chief Cannell up in Muldrow, he actually took on a little bit more. He's coming all the way down past 1638 where Camp Carlson is. He helps us take calls all the way to there.
Oh, he's almost in my house.
Yeah, so he helps us out there, and we assist him when he doesn't have somebody, and we have somebody in Muldrow. It's about communication and working together.
Right.
Chief Hag, me and him worked together as deputies when I was a deputy. So as long as I'm sheriff, we're all going to work together.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
And it works well, and the people in the community need to know that we work together.
Yep.
I remember back in the day, a long time ago, it seemed like there was a little friction and stuff like that, competition and all that. I have no competition. everybody is family out here, and
That's
that's the way
awesome.
it needs to be.
That's we talk about that all the time on here.
All the time.
In fact, that's one of the reasons why I picked here. Planted the flag and let's move on. You know what I mean? So unpack the last box. That's what I tell my wife all the time. Let's get that thing unpacked now. So go ahead, Mark.
I was going to say, is there any one thing that you might want to talk about or bring up today that that's on your minds? Things that you programs you might see in the future, things you need help with. Is there opportunities to volunteer or help with the sheriff's
Anybody
office?
can come put an application in and put in for, we have or it's called reserve deputy. We have positions for that. And that really,
Golly, Sarge.
right. But there is a lot of opportunities there. We need bailiffs, and just recently we hired the first female bailiff, full-time bailiff we've ever had. Meade County's ever had. So
Wow.
Nice.
It's pretty impressive. I actually have 2 female, total of 3 female. If you want to call my office manager Pam, she's also a bailiff too. They went to
We like Pam.
Yep. So I'm wanting, I'm wanting this diversity, and we need this, And I think it's great. And I've noticed I'm hiring younger people too.
We've noticed that too.
So because they're the future,
Yep.
They're the future, and these guys, you got to realize when you see these young deputies out in the street, they can get a job at like McDonald's and make more money than they are with me. So there we come back to the word passion.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the difference. One of the big things is, whenever there's a big event that happens in the county, when there's an investigation going on, you hear the old adage, I can't talk about it, it's investigation. That's actually pretty much true because, if you have a suspect or suspects involved in a crime and we're looking at them, you don't want to give information out because we might be getting more information from that person.
That's true.
So, and this isn't like TV, this isn't CSI. It takes time.
Sure.
It takes time to get stuff from labs and things like that.
I mean, and this is there's 30,000 people, but it's still a small community. If one person hears about it, then you know that at least 30 other people have heard about it.
And that's usually what happens.
Yeah,
That's
and then
usually
next thing you know, the suspect knows. The suspect, can maybe try to, run or, or what have you, right? So,
But other than being transparent or anything like that, I mean, I'm like a ghost. If you want to know about my budget, you want to know anything, I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm
So
wide open.
speaking of budget,
Yep.
I know that you are the best person at sending out Christmas cards.
You like that Christmas?
Yeah, I love that Christmas card. Well, actually, I'm a fan of those Christmas cards because I'm a tax-paying American, and I believe that we need to pay our taxes, and everybody should. I saw the paper a couple weeks ago. They did the tax auction, and you could buy out the taxes and all that. I almost thought about doing that and getting in on that action, but I was like, nah, I'm good.
There's a lot to it.
There is a lot to it. I know it. But, you got a call?
No.
Okay, good. So I think it's interesting that is also always the role of the sheriff, but in this county, it's a lot more than just collecting taxes because you're pretty much the primary law enforcement for the county, and that tax requirement is a lot of administrative work.
And there's more to it. We're in charge of the security of the court. We're in charge for paper service. Any paper service comes through the court. Tax services. I'm also on board of elections.
Yeah.
So you're running around as a sheriff's office. It takes on a bigger role. The municipalities out there. The sheriff's office has a lot of roles. We deal with concealed carry. We deal with car inspections.
Yep.
We go out to these different car lots and do car
Just did
inspections.
it.
So there's just a variety of jobs that I'm responsible for and proud to do it. And I just say keep bringing it on, and I'll keep
There
hammering
you
it out.
go.
so what? How? We've had some discussion here in the last few months about, probably for years actually, but not you and I, but Steve and I with some other folks about the role of the what's it called? The
I don't know where you're
He's
going.
trying to read your mind.
Hold on.
trying to think about it just a second. It's going to be there. The constables.
Oh yeah, I was going to go down this road.
Yeah.
So we just the party just appointed a constable.
We just
Are nominated for his general because there's a special election. One I think got hired, and so he was elected, and then he stepped out of the position. So there was another gentleman who wanted to come in, but the constables, obviously, that are they a big help to the sheriff's department?
Well, right now the constables don't have police powers.
That's right.
So that seems to be an issue. They've made it great law. did I use constables when I first came in? I could use their help if they had police powers, absolutely.
Okay.
But it seems like I know there's a big discussion, or I think there might be a lawsuit or something going on. I'm not really sure how that's all working.
I don't know.
But I know the person that's over top of that is dealing with that through legislation to try to get it changed for constables. But I've got relatives that are constables.
Yeah.
And, we need help.
But don't they help with like serving papers and stuff? Can they do that for you guys?
They can, yes, they can. If they're with the sheriff's office, they can. But they can also have their own it's called ORI number, and they can serve their own paperwork. Now, anything that comes out of the courthouse, the sheriff's office serves it.
Okay.
There was a circuit court order years ago that Mr. Miller had signed, and it still stands.
Okay.
Where anything that comes through the courthouse gets served by the sheriff's office.
Okay.
So nobody else can serve it but the sheriff's office.
And then JJ, out of all the people that got a Christmas card last year, how many of them got thrown into jail because they didn't pay their Christmas card back?
Well, luckily they don't.
It usually doesn't go that far.
Yes.
How many of them had to serve Christmas dinner to the prisoners? I'm just kidding. I heard a war
That's a
story that they
deterrent.
had to go
Maybe-
to. I'm just kidding.
Maybe if they don't pay your taxes, if you don't pay your taxes on time, you have to go to the jail and do the dishes.
Yeah.
It's like going to the restaurant and not being able to pay.
I don't know. I bet you he's got some industrial contraption, though. You just set them in there and it washes them all and they come out spick and span.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. I don't, so, anyway. But potato peelers? You got potato peelers still or no?
Now all the potato peelers are manual.
That's okay. All right. That's good.
Now, I will tell you all, since JJ's sitting here, he helps us out when things get slow at the jail or something happens. He gets caught up with his work because he's got so much stuff to do. It's unreal.
Yeah.
But he actually comes and helps us support as police. He's
Wow.
actually a certified. Well, he's a peace officer.
Okay.
He's actually a police officer by statute.
Mhm.
So he can have blue lights and pull people over. He's got his own ORI. So he comes out and
What
supports.
car do you drive? No, I'm just kidding.
So he comes out and supports us a lot.
Yeah.
We may have warrant roundup, things like
Mhm.
that, putting people in his jail.
Well, that's
So-
important because a lot of people don't realize that.
Yep.
That you can have that ability as the jailer. They think the jailer is just watching.
No, he's an elected
Yeah.
official with authority and powers under law enforcement. Most people don't know that.
They don't know that. It's a very good point.
So I want to comment, you guys. Troy started off really strong, and he's been holding these town halls. And y'all's presence at those town halls has made a huge difference, especially, with the growth in the county. A lot of people have complaints about how fast people are driving up and down the roads. And, you're just never going to solve that problem overnight because people are going to do what people do when nobody's looking. You know what I mean? But the presence at the town halls has been impactful. What's your overall take on those?
Well, I used to do them years ago. I started the town hall meetings when I was elected, and it started out really good and strong, and then it kind of tapered off. People wouldn't, they didn't show up or whatever, and it started tapering off. And I'm a big advocate, for people to start showing up to these things, whether it be a town hall meeting, especially fiscal court.
Right.
The only time I see people in fiscal court is when they actually have something happen, maybe in their backyard. Or
And they
whatever.
want to complain.
I think we need to know. They need to come and know what's going on with our county, what's
right.
changed. And, if you have an opinion, Judge Coke lets people talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have time to talk. So I think people to get informed and to ask questions to your elected officials that come around these town hall meetings, show up and we'll be more than happy to answer them.
Fiscal court itself is more of an administration time, and where they're voting on things and stuff. And yes, they want to bring people in to advise and ask questions. And there's always a public session that you can sign up for. But I think the town hall is a little bit more personal. I can take a few minutes and say what I want to say. I don't have to worry about everybody in the room is watching me. A lot of my neighbors, the people around me, are probably my neighbors, and we have similar issues,
Concerns,
and concerns, and we want to talk about those things. And I think it's important that we stay civil in those times. But there's some big issues. There's issues that are big to people, right? They're big issues to the individuals.
We got big changes in this county.
There's huge.
And we need everybody to be involved in it.
Yeah.
That's what we
So
need.
you guys both have a booth here tonight. So JJ, what's your booth? What do you want the people to get out of your booth?
Of course, we got a little photo booth over there, kind of a jail cell setting if somebody wants to come and take some pictures.
In the slammer.
And then we got a free giveaway. It's a nice bar that the wood shop built.
Woo!
We're giving away away free popsicles. So come on by and see us.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's hot outside. Everybody likes popsicles.
If you want to know which one's the jail, it's
The one with the bars.
jail. It's the one
Yeah.
with the bars.
That one with the bars.
And if you want to know which one's the sheriff, it's the
with the sheriff.
It
it's
looks
the one
like
the
an old
sheriff
Western
sign on it.
saloon
That's
boy
what
coming
it
in.
is.
Yeah, that's
I was
right.
gonna say we didn't take the cover off, so
Here. No, you didn't take the cover.
I didn't take the cover off of that camera, so
Sorry.
we can't turn around there. And
You
show
mean
it
I've been
everybody.
waving to that camera the whole time? And the
That's
cover?
No,
one right there.
that's the one you're on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
that
all
one
right.
got you good a while ago when you were talking about eating or something.
It's all good.
That's all right. I don't
No.
care.
It's all right.
So,
Hey,
but-
it's real.
That I'm
It's
real.
And if you're a
right.
kid, you can come up and you can get pinned a little sheriff badge sticker.
Again, I got the shirt, I got some
Deputized.
magazines. I got a good giveaway there, and
Now, are you arresting anybody? Like, if I pay a donation and you'll go arrest somebody and throw them in JJ's jail for like 30 minutes and they got to pay to get out of jail?
no, we didn't do that. JJ's got his booth over there. He's shortened a little bit this year, so we can't fit that many people in it.
Okay.
But
That sure would have been a good fundraiser.
we actually arrest people out here, though. If we have had one.
For real arrest people.
Really have.
Yeah, for
jail.
real
They go to
arrest
the real
people.
jail.
Okay, that's funny.
I would say there was some discussion. I don't want to bring it up on air that about
You
a
just
couple
did.
of folks. Yeah, well, I didn't bring it up and tell you what it was.
You didn't say who or what.
I didn't say who or what it was, but there's something that
So, but
came up.
speaking of that, though, this is one of those family-friendly fairs, and
It
I think
is.
y'all do a phenomenal job in presence here. And I think our national anthem's going off, so we're going to tune out and we're going to stand up.
Yes.
Everybody, y'all have a good night.
good night, everybody.